Shout out to Caressa for sending me this story right here. And this is echoing something that I have talked about on my channel quite often. And I really expressed it in my recent live stream that I just recently did, where I was talking about how there are certain individuals who will be packing their bags and leaving the big house very, very soon. And I guess we can start with this guy right here, whose name is Jerron Smith. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I did not know who the heck he was until about 2 minutes ago. But according to this article coming from an Independent, they said that he is the highest ranking black Trump advisor, and they said he has officially left the White House. I predict there will be more to follow. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this article and see what they're talking about. The highest ranking black advisor on Donald Trump's White House staff, Jerron Smith, has departed. Several news outlets have reported. Mr. Smith has served as the Trump administration's Director of Urban Affairs and Revitalization since day one in January 2017. Now, how is it that I did not know who this guy was? Can anyone down in the comment section of this video let me know, have you heard of this guy before today? His role in the White House expanded in April 2019 when he was officially named a deputy assistant to the president for domestic policy, where he has worked closely with senior advisor Jared Kushner, Mr. Trump's son-in-law, more like bitch-in-law. Bloomberg first reported Mr. Smith's departure, which a White House official later confirmed to The Hill, had been long planned regardless of the outcome of the election. Why do I feel like that's a load of BS? You mean to tell me that it's no, first off, it's no coincidence that this guy leaves, quote unquote, when it's the week of the election and it looks like 45 is going to lose? That's no coincidence, because I have a feeling that if 45 was looking to win and get reelected, this guy wouldn't be looking to leave, quote unquote. While Mr. Smith has long been the top black aide in Mr. Trump's White House, Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson is the highest ranking black official in the entire administration. Mr. Smith's last day in the White House was Friday, which ironically, I'm recording this video on his last day, which is the 6th, which was a couple days after Election Day. It is not uncommon for White House and administration staffers to leave their posts after a full term, even if the president is reelected for a second. Many of them, especially ones in top positions like Mr. Smith, can leverage their experience in the White House to bag lucrative jobs as lobbyists and corporate lawyers specializing in governmental affairs. Well, let's see how that's going to work for him. Over the last 4 years, 45 has developed a soft spot for Mr. Smith, calling him my star. In meetings at the White House, I'm almost certain that put a nice little smile on his face. He got a little gold star. The New York Times reported in a profile piece about him. Before working with 45 and his son-in-law, Mr. Smith worked for a conservative-leaning economic advocacy group connected to the political network founded by Charles and David Koch, the U.S. oil and chemical barons, who are notorious for promoting free trade and other pillars of neoliberal capitalism. Before that, he was a legislative assistant for Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, the GOP's sole black senator, as well as Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio. Mr. Smith has also worked for Vice President Mike Pence when Mike Pence was a congressman in Indiana. You know, just reading that and his credentials and the people he's worked alongside, I can automatically tell you, if you ever brought up the topic of reparations to him, he would turn it down, or he would turn his nose up at it. Like, look at the people he worked with. 45, the Koch brothers, Tim Scott, Mike Pence, and Jared Kushner. That's who he was around. And possibly even Ben Carson. A lot can be said about a person when you break down who they connect themselves or decide to be around. Look at the company he was in. Look, and they said he was the highest ranking black Trump advisor. And now he's quote unquote leaving the same week as the election. Of course, they had to throw in that part about, well, it's not like it's uncommon that someone leaves after one term. Well, the question I begged was he a good advisor, or was he just a high ranking because he happened to be black? You know, I find it very interesting that you'll have some people who are right leaning that will tell you to not do identity politics, but they be some of the main ones that's doing it. Look at this example right here. They said he was the highest ranking Trump advisor. I want to know, did he have any others, or was he the only one? Because notice it said that Ben Carson is the only black one who has a top spot in his entire administration. The only one, whether they are a man or a woman. And they say he's the highest ranking aide. I wonder, was he's the only aide? But I don't feel anything for this guy. Like I said, just listen to the company that he was around. That already lets you know he wouldn't come down to a grassroots level. I can guarantee it. He also probably talks about so-called black on black crime, and you know, we got to go fix this and that up. And you know, he also strikes me as an opportunist. He probably hung around Herman Cain too. I wouldn't even be surprised if he went to Selma, to Tulsa back in June. And if you look at the background and kind of like really examine this picture, he's at the RNC. He spoke at the RNC. Like I said, but you know, like I said, this is the beginning of the end for a lot of people like this guy here. Jobs are going to be dropped like hot potatoes. I'm telling you. This is only the beginning. And this is a guy who worked closely to 45, not some grifter that's on Twitter. And there's several of them on there. I don't have to give no names. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. So if this guy can leave a position where he actually was near 45 and actually had an actual position and not just on Twitter all day, then that means the worst is coming for the rest of them. Y'all let me know what you think.